Welcome to my YouTube channel, Surowicz Watercolor. At any time during the video, you can click on the link in the lower right hand corner to subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, be sure to like it. If you want to see more of my videos or learn more about my online instruction, you can click on the link that appears at the end of the video. Hi everybody, this is Rick. I'm in my studio, and for this video I'm going to be doing a misty lakeside scene and working a lot of wet in wet, and I hope you enjoy this. This will be the setup that I'll be using for the demonstration, and I'm just going to go ahead and start. I have a very simple drawing down on my paper. This is 8 by 10 inches. I'm working at about a 20-degree angle. It's 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. And my paper's just been taped to my board with masking tape. It's not stretched, it's just dry. So I'll be working from the background forward. Like I said, I've drawn some very simple shapes, some big shapes here that may be a little hard to see on camera, but I've got a tree line. I have a shoreline here with some trees, and I just have a mark, a line to indicate where the trees are going to be, and some things going on in the water. So fairly simple, big shape composition, and I'll just develop it as it goes. So one of the things I'm going to do, though, as I bring this wash down, I want to have a nice clean edge on this where the land meets the water on the shoreline there. So I'm going to use a little bit of rice tape so I can maintain a nice clean edge there. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to take a big wash brush, and it's a big soft wash brush. This one happens to be a Princeton Neptune size 6 quill brush. It's really soft, holds a lot of paint. And I'm going to take a little bit of royal blue. Not a lot of pigment. I'm going to keep this fairly light to start. A little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this wash down my page. I'm actually going to add just a touch of raw sienna to that, to gray that down just a little. I want to gray that a little bit so it's not such a bright blue. And I'm just bringing this wash down. And now I've just got some clear water. Pick up a little of that. And right now this is very wet. It's what I call saturated. And I'm going to bring some more water down here. Okay. And now I'm actually going to take a little permanent green light, a little hands of yellow, and I'm going to put some of this right in here, and you'll see why in a little bit. I'm gonna have a kind of a bright kind of yellow green shoreline, and I want it to be foggy. So I've worked that into there. And I'm going to have a clean edge here because I've put the tape right there on the shoreline. So I'm going from this blue into this kind of a yellow green. And but what I want to do now is I want to let this dry just a little bit. While that's drying, I'm going to get rid of a little bit of this mixture on my palette. It's a lot of water, and I don't want as much water in my mixture, and I have a big pool of it. All right, so we've got rid of that. So I've got number 6 round brush, and again, this is a Princeton Aqua Elite number 6 round brush. Nice brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a violet. So I have some ultramarine blue, a little rose madder, a little more of a red violet. I'm going to go a little more towards the violet. And I'm going to take a little of this, little raw sienna, add it to my violet to gray it down some. Actually, I'm going to take a little of this Hansa yellow. I'll do a better job. A little more blue. So now I have kind of a gray violet, and my paint is doesn't have near as much water in it at the moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. So this is damp paper right now. I'm going to put a little more water in my brush. So I want this to be a tree line here, kind of a gray violet. I'm going to drag this along here. Bring this down a little. Okay, so now I've got that gray violet kind of representing kind of a distant misty tree line. And now I'm going to add a little sap green to my mixture, a little royal blue, and I'm going to add a touch of alizarin crimson to gray that down a little bit. I want this leaning a little bit towards the blue. That's a little too much in there. I'm after kind of a gray, cool gray, green, grayish green. All right, so now I'm going to come in with this color. So I've got this green, kind of a grayish green, just to represent a line of trees that might be a little closer. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Gonna add just a little bit more definition to the top. I'm going to make some vertical marks so it kind of feels like the vertical trees out here. Okay, and I want this to be kind of feel like it's a kind of a misty backdrop for what I'm going to be painting over top of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is a number 8 round brush loaded with water, and I intentionally want to create some blossoms. Hopefully I didn't wait too long. I think we'll get that. So I'm taking a bead of moisture to this damp paper, and you can see hopefully it's starting to create some blossoms, and I actually want that because I want to get this kind of a misty feeling. So you can see that how it's starting to push that paint. What's happening is I put that bead of water on there, and the paper it's lost its gloss. It doesn't have a pool of water sitting on the paper, but the pigment, there's plenty of moisture in the paper, and the pigment can move. So as I put this bead of water on here, it starts to level out and push that pigment to create a blossom, and it's giving me that kind of a foggy look that I'm after. And I'm going to do a little bit more of that in front of the trees that I'm going to put in here. All right, so there, that kind of gives me my foggy backdrop. I'm going to give just a little bit more shape to the trees. So now I have that kind of a misty backdrop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this, and I'm going to start putting some layers on top, working wet on dry. All right, so you can see how this backwash started to give this feeling of misty edges here. And I see the different colors of trees coming through there. Now I'm going to take a brush here, a quill brush. This is a Dynasty Black Gold. It's a triple lot quill brush. And I'll use also a number 4 round brush a little bit. So I'm going to take some sap green, a little pyro red. I'm going to get some quinacridone gold. A little more of this. I'm actually going to, I think, start with this is my number 4 round brush. So I'm going to now start to paint some layers. On top of this. And I want to have a variety of colors. I'm gonna go to my quill brush. I'm gonna take a little royal blue, put on my palette, give me just a touch darker mixture. So now I'm dropping some different colors in here. Some cool, some warm, some gold, some reds, some greens. And let me see, I'm going to take a little bit of the sap green, some permanent green light, a little yellow. I just want kind of maybe a little quinacridone gold I'll put in there. I just want some kind of bright colors right now. I'm going to drop those in here. Some of this green. So drop some different colors in there. I'll pick a little of that up. I want this to dry a little. Right now it's very glossy, it's saturated. I want it to be more of a satin color. And I'm going to do the same thing I did back here, I'm going to do in front to create kind of a foggy, misty feeling. So it's starting to get to where maybe that'll work a little bit. Let's see. So I'm going to drop some water in here. I'm going to pick some of this up. See if I can get just a little bit more backwash going here, a few more blossoms. So lift a little of that out of there. Get one more time. I should have waited maybe just a little longer. There we go. So that kind of gives me that misty feeling there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and dry that, and I'm going to work on a layer that's more in the foreground. Now this layer is all dry, and I'm going to build a layer here with some taller trees. So I'll be using the same kind of colors that I've been using. I'll take a little raw sienna in here though. Some quinacridone gold. Here's my sap green. I'm going to put a little rose madder in that. A little royal blue with a little rose madder in that. Okay, so I'm going to start with these colors. And let's see, I got I just dragged the side of the brush a little bit, change the angles here and there, try and get some different colors and values in here. Get a little rose madder. I like to get a little bit of red showing sometimes in these greens. And now we're going to go over here to another shorter tree. Okay, so now I've got another tree over here. Okay, now I'm going to go to a bigger brush. I'm going to go to this number 8 round brush. And start to bring, actually I'm going to go to even a bigger brush. I'm going to go to this wash brush. Get some of the gold Ross Sienna. And then I'm going to bring these down. Actually, what I want to do here is I'm going to remove this tape, because now I'm in the foreground here. Take a little darker mixture. And sometimes I'll scrape. Let's see, we'll go ahead and do a little of that. I'm going to take this little scraping tool. Might be a little probably too wet in a few areas, but give me a few kind of grassy shapes. Really don't want to overdo it. Okay, so now I'm ready to dry this, and I'll start working this water in some reflections. Actually, before I do that, I think what I'm going to do, let's see, we'll scrape a little, and let's see if we can still scrape a little bit out here for this trunk. Might be a little dry. I'll do a little lifting to make some marks in that. Let's get a little bit more of this going. Now that it's dried a little, I can get a little bit more definitive marks in this. Okay, so we'll leave that. Now let me dry this. Okay, so I've dried this and I've cleaned this side of my palette, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to mix a violet, kind of a grayed down violet. And let's see. And so a little ultramarine blue, a little rose madder. And just a touch of raw sienna. Alright, so I'm just gonna, it's a little too dark. So I'm gonna make some shapes in this water. Light reflecting off this, off the water. Make sure I have some nice clean edges on that. And get a little bigger brush. I don't use a little bigger brush. And then we'll come here. pick up some kind of a gray violet, like it's just kind of reflecting a little bit of light. Put that in there. And let's see. I'm gonna go just a little bit more on that. Okay, so I'm gonna dry that, and then I'm gonna do some work in here with kind of more of a blue color. So I've dried it. I'm gonna take some of this royal blue that I like to use, and I'll go with that. So now I'm gonna take the royal blue and we'll go here. So I want this to be a wet, a loaded brush with a fairly fluid mixture with a lot of water in it, because I'm going to drop some reflections, some of the colors of the trees into this. Probably could have used even a bigger brush to do this. And let's see. I don't like to labor with a brush trying to fill a space. I'd rather just use a big brush and make quick marks, but we'll stay with what I have here. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more to this so that there's plenty of moisture in this. All right. I'm going to pick up that excess there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to take a little more of this green, some more gold, and a little touch of red in that. But I'm going to, I want to pick up some of the, the reflections. I'm going to get some of the gold. Get a little blue in there. I want to catch some verticality in that. Let's see. So picking up a little of that, and then here I'm going to try and pick up a touch of green in there. Some gold. Just want to pick up some of those colors. I'm going to take a little of this violet. Okay, I'm not going to fuss too much with those. I'm going to throw just a little in here, just so it's picking up a reflection from something off to the side there. Let me once again, I'm going to dry this. So that's dry. I'm going to take the royal blue. actually have some green in that. Let me clean this palette just a little bit. Give me a space. Let me get some royal blue. So I have a very light mixture of the royal blue. I'm going to put that right here. Just get some reflection of that sky. And do the same here. So just tone that down a little bit. And let's see. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is these values here are a little too close for me. This is farther away. This is more middle ground. These are background. This is middle ground. This is foreground. So I want to have some darker values here in my foreground. So I add some royal blue to that green and some little rose madder. And I'm actually going to take to start, I'm going to take a liner brush, or a rigger brush. This is a number 6 rigger brush. And I'm going to make some marks here for tree trunks. I'm also going to take, this is a number 1 rigger brush. I like to put these kind of dried out, dried out trees that you see. Just a few bits of branches and whatever coming off of it. So put one in here. And I'm going to put one right here, maybe. Okay, now I want to bring some of this darker value a few spots here along the shoreline. Just kind of drag that brush. A few marks here where those grassy shapes are at. Maybe a few darker values on this tree. And this one. And perhaps, even though not quite as dark, but put a few marks here on my distant shore. Just to show a little more of that edge, and then let that disappear. Alright, so I'm going to take just a little bit of that darker value. And I'm gonna dry this. Okay, so that's dry. I've actually added just a few little dots here and there while I was drying. I wanted to get a little darker value, but I think that's where I'm going to stop. So just kind of a misty lakeside scene here, all imagination. You know, all you need is some simple shapes to get started, and you can just kind of create as you go with your paintbrush. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.